Hi and welcome back to the Cheeky Crypto Podcast. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another podcast video. And in today's video, we're going to have a look at obviously USDC, Silvergate Bank and Silicon Valley Bank as well. We're going to dig into all of this. I'm going to talk about what to kind of expect over the coming days and weeks. We'll also dig into Nick's thoughts and opinions on Bitcoin, and I'll ask you the question where you think Bitcoin's likely to be heading. If you enjoy this sort of content, mash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. Jump in the Discord, link is in the description, absolutely free to join. And yeah, look, there's lots going on down in the Discord that you can take part in and really enjoy. So definitely worth digging into that. Absolutely free to join, of course. Right, let's get down to the desktop. Okay, so we're going to start here on CoinMarketCap and we'll have a look at USDC. Now, I need to be quite clear. At about 91 cent, I started purchasing some USDC. I did think that it was likely to get back to peg, and I still do believe that. And there's some, some articles that have come out, and I think that sort of backs up my initial thoughts. So yeah, look, this is the benefit of being one of the Patreon members. You get to see what it is that I'm doing because I messaged the Discord as I'm doing it. So yeah, look. Very risky, and it's maybe not for everybody, but it is what I have been doing, and I think that is one that is an easy 9% gain on stable coins that I was holding anyway. So yeah, look, let's dig into this. Obviously, it depegged. If we can actually go down, have a look over the last 7 days, we depegged and we went down to just over 88 cent. I didn't manage to get the actual bottom, but you never do. Now, basically, Circle have come out and they've said that they're going to cover any shortfalls in USDC reserves, sparking stablecoin rally. So I don't really think that it did generate a rally of any sort. But we're hovering around the 96 cent, and I think we got up to about 97 cents. So it's definitely pulling back, and that has sort of brought a bit more confidence to the USDC stablecoin. But a lot of this is because of traditional banking sector and not the crypto sector. And for all the messaging that's been going out about how bad cryptocurrency is. It looks like liquidity issues within the traditional banking system is the real cause of everything that we're seeing with USDC. And I think as well, there's going to be a lot of contagion. And I really do believe that it's not going to be just in the traditional sector with a lot of fintech companies having exposure to SVB. And I think that is going to be one of those situations where there's going to be some companies that can't afford to pay their staff, can't afford to pay for goods and services, and that will again cause problems further down the supply chain. So I think there's a lot of risks here. We'll find out more. Will there be some sort of bailout? Will the bank be bought up? And I do see comments saying that the bank will never be bought up. I think that's a very bold statement to make, and I would argue that there would be people that would be very interested in purchasing SVB, particularly because of the type of exposure that they've got to could potentially be unicorn companies that might no longer exist unless the bank is bailed out. So I would argue that case. I think that there's likely to be a buyer or several buyers making purchases, of the companies that have been impacted, and potentially even the bank. I mean, to get that level of exposure would be something that I think a lot of companies would be after. A lot of this is like the tech world. It's crypto. and it's the next iteration of everything, right? Potentially. So why would you not want to have exposure to that? So look, I argue that case. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. But for me and Nick, we have been talking about the banking sector, traditional banking sector, and you can go back through the videos on this channel where I've been talking about banks and how they're squeezing retail out, stopping people from being able to onboard their crypto. And I'm not just talking about credit card usage and buying crypto on credit cards. I kind of agree that you shouldn't be doing that, but I'm really talking about your own hard-earned cash in your savings account or your standard bank account. A lot of banks, particularly here in the UK and other parts of the world, have been sort of putting limits on or just banning up, straight up banning you from being able to get involved in cryptocurrency. Like if I want to put fiat onto Binance, I've got no chance. The banks just won't let me. So look, I think that this is not because of crypto being bad necessarily. I've always kind of had an inkling that there's a problem with liquidity within the traditional banking sector. As things start to get tightened, you're basically drawing money out of the ecosystem, and that causes liquidity problems, right? And I think this is the first sign of that. Like I guess alarming sign. But there have been many other signs in the lead up to this, and it's interesting because I get told that there's these spaces going on with these individuals that are very prominent influencers, particularly in America and other parts of the world, and to some extent, some seem to not really agree that this was something that was something that could have been forecast and something that could have been seen, and I really do disagree. Like I think it's been quite obvious, and Nick and myself have been talking about risk management, preserving capital. This is the stuff that we've kind of been hinting at. Not necessarily that the SVB bank was going to be the bank that went bankrupt, or had liquidity problems and had to close its doors, but it could have been any one of those banks. Nick and myself have kind of been saying, like, do you need to hold stable coins? Do you need to hold that risk? We've been talking about if you got your money in banks, just make sure that you're not over the insurance limits and stuff like that. There's sorts of little nuggets of information we've been putting out there, and we've kind of said that this is different to previous cycles. We've talked about the rationale as to why we believe this. The data set is really small, haven't experienced a recession before, and all that stuff. So it's been rather interesting, but I think we've kind of highlighted a lot of this stuff before it's happened, and tried to make sure people are in a position where they can de-risk. Replacing Silvergate's network is a challenge for crypto industry, according to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏. So look, I completely agree with this. I think that the banking side of things, onboarding fiat onto crypto exchanges and stuff like that seems to be broken when it comes to mainstream banks. And people could say it's because crypto is being seen as bad because of one person running a fraudulent exchange. But I kind of disagree with that. I kind of feel that this is really the traditional banking sector having some issues. They've kind of been attacked, in my opinion, by tech companies taking a slice of that liquidity pie. And we see this with the likes of PayPal, these online banks now as well. I think there's so many. There's too many to name. But basically these traditional banks, they're run by people that have still got their mindsets in the early 90s. That's being I guess considerate in my the way that I articulate this. It's probably far worse than that, and they're being overtaken by new and well thought out business models that are less costly and able to pass on some of those savings and benefits to the customers. And I think traditional finance, they need to upgrade. They need to go blockchain. And again, that's part of the reason why I kind of feel they've got this liquidity crisis at the moment. And I think that the contagion is going to be bad. There's going to be many people that lose their jobs, and I think this will spill into the crypto space in a more heavy way. There will be hedge funds that have got exposure to this. There will be companies, no doubt, that will fail because they won't be part of the ones that get bought up, the real unicorns and stuff like that. So look, this is a domino effect. I think we're going to see. It'd be interesting to see what the Fed do, whether they pivot, whether they just pause and give markets time to recover before going heavy again, or are they just going to go heavy? For me, I don't agree with all these bailouts and stuff like that. I really do believe that you should go hard or go home. I think that the Fed are in an impossible position, and the US is in a lot of trouble. I think Europe is no better either. So it's going to be interesting to see how things progress. It feels to me like there needs to be a reset. The CBDC seems to be a very convenient opportunity at a time where the US is likely to go bankrupt unless they raise the debt ceiling. So lots going on in the real world. Nick's done a video on BTC on the main channel yesterday at 3 o'clock. Interesting that he says look, there's potential for the market to the Bitcoin to go up to close to $30,000, for example. It's going to be interesting to see what the Fed does, because I think that's going to be what decides what direction this market is going to go into. So yeah, looking forward to that side of things. Are the Fed gonna cause more pain? Either way, I think we're not doomed. I think that's a strong word to put out there, but I do think that the market is not in a good place at the moment, and the macro obviously is not looking good, as people are waking up to now. And look, I think that we've got lower lows to come, but I do think we're edging ever so close to that. And the closer that we get, the closer we get to that max pain, and I think we are close. The sooner we get a bull run, and I don't think that's too far away. If you enjoyed today's video, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tap in that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will catch you in the next one.